Live from Omaha, it's Lane 9, and here's your host, Ariana Kukors.
Good evening and welcome to Lane 9. I'm your host, Ariana Kukors. We're here at our home, the USA Swimming House in Omaha, Nebraska. We're just down the street at the CenturyLink Center. Our 2016 Olympic team is really starting to take shape. Let's get right to the action because tonight I have a very special guest. She was your champion in the 200 butterfly just last night. Please welcome Camille Adams. Thank you for being here, Camille.
Thanks for having me.
I'm so excited to see you. We were teammates in 2012, and you're the first person that we have live on the Lane 9 set. What do you think of what we have going on here?
This is awesome. This is actually really cool. It's a beautiful view, so thanks for having me tonight.
It was amazing to watch you swim last night because I know that there was a little bit of drama, some distractions. I heard a nail was lost in everything.
So angry.
I know.
So
well,
angry.
The sacrifices that we make as
was
swimmers,
worth it.
I'm proud of you. So watching that race was amazing to see, and you continue to have commanding performances as we go. What does it mean for you to put up a swim like that, and now you can go into Rio, having that under your belt?
Yeah, I mean, definitely a little bit more drama than I was expecting, like I said. But I'm really looking forward to Rio, and I know I have so much more in the tank, so I'm pretty pumped to get back to training these next month or so. And just be with Team USA.
So your coach gave you a really nice surprise this morning, a present for making the Olympic team, the 200 butterfly. What was that present?
So this meet, I'm all about surprises. So I didn't even know I had the 200 back cut, but apparently I do. So this morning I got to swim the 200 backstroke, but it was actually really fun. Got to smile at myself on the Jumbotron as I passed the little girl next to me. Just kidding. No, it was actually a really good time. It was fun. It was glad to end trials with an off event.
Did you get any sleep last night?
I think I slept maybe 3 hours. So the Wi-Fi at the hotel isn't quite the best here lately. I guess everyone's trying to get on it or something. It works great at 3:30 in the morning though.
Oh wow! Well, good to know. Well, so 3:30 in the morning at the hotel. Great.
You got it.
Okay, so looking forward to Rio. In 2012, it was your first international trip. Now you have 4 years of international experience under your belt. You have a gold medal at Pan Pacs. What does that mean going into Rio now?
Yeah, I think, obviously 2012 being my first national team, didn't know a soul on the team, and now I feel like I know everyone making the team.
Yeah.
So even just to have friends around and the support around, I think is going to be huge for me. And then on the actual pool side, I think the experience getting silver last summer as well, added to the gold at Pan Pacs, I think it's just going to really give me the confidence to get up there in Rio.
So I know that you have a pretty fun roommate the last few years in the international team. What's that scene been like?
So Elizabeth Feisel is absolutely one of my favorite people in the world. Yeah. And if you know us well, you know we're polar opposites. Yep. But I think that's why we balance each other out. She comes back and she just crashes after a crazy day. And I just crash all the time normally. Yep. So we get along great. Yeah, it's fun.
I love it.
It's
well,
a good time.
I cannot wait to see pictures, whatever you guys do in Rio. But I know tonight was your first full final session. What is the electricity like in there?
It's awesome. It's so much fun. This was really the first night that I got to just sit in the stands, and I was by myself at the beginning and just got to watch as everyone filed in and just really take it all in. This is the first night that I've been able to do that. So, just got to listen to the national anthem and then watch Josh win the swim off all the way to the end. It was a really special night for me.
Well, I'm so happy for you. I'm so proud of you. I loved being your teammate and following you these last 4 years, and I cannot wait to see what you do in Rio. So thanks for coming and joining me tonight.
So excited. Thanks, Ari. Thanks, and Gig'em.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks. Now we are going to head over to Carolyn Joyce and get caught up on all of the action that happened in the pool tonight. Kara, tonight was a matchup. Let's just hit it out of the gate. 200 IM for men.
200 IM for men. I think tonight was actually my favorite night of racing. So we're well past the halfway point. Night 6. Yeah. What day is it?
There you go.
Well past the halfway point. And the matchups tonight, all the races I thought were phenomenal. But men's 200 IM, we have to talk about this.
We have to.
We had Lochte and Phelps in a classic matchup going head to head. The stands were on their feet. Everyone was cheering. This was the race to watch. This was the main event tonight. And we talked about how Michael just turned 31. Ryan is also in his early 30s. I think it was a great race. They were stroke for stroke the entire way. However, I would have actually liked to see them maybe go a little bit faster, but I'm assuming they probably left some stuff in the tank too. So that race, we're going to see it again, advance to Rio, and I look forward to it.
And they were stroke for stroke up until the very last lap. And, it was really anyone's race at that point. And I agree with you. I think that they'll be a lot faster in Rio.
Yeah.
But, that rivalry, that's the last time that they're going to swim that race on American soil. which
Yeah.
continues to blow my mind. And then 30 minutes later, Michael stepped up for the 100 butterfly semifinal.
Yeah, Michael had his 100 butterfly semifinal. This race, I think, is going to unfold very interesting. We had Seth Stubenfield at first place. Michael Phelps is actually seated 6th going into finals tomorrow night, and it's a young, hungry field. Tim Phillips with a personal best time of a 51.2 is seated 2nd, and Tim is also the love interest of Katie Miley, one of our other qualifiers in the 100 breaststroke. Yep. So I'm sure he'd love to get on the team with her. But I don't think that race is locked up with Michael. I think that it is going to be anyone's swim tomorrow, and it'll be pretty cool to watch.
Yeah, and I think so, especially, I mean, he had obviously the adrenaline, everything going from the 200 IM. I'm curious to see what kind of swim he puts together, maybe swimming a little bit more fresh, have some legs in his system to come home.
Yeah, and Michael's not one to back down from a challenge in the 100 fly. If there's a race that, he's stolen finishes from, the most famous one of all time is probably his finish in 2008 against Mike Havoc. He repeated that again in 2009 against Mike Havoc, and he likes this race. He likes to keep it close to the heart. So
especially those last 15 meters, you can never count him out. The way that he comes home it's unlike anything in the field.
Even at 31.
Okay, so we had the finals of the women's 100 freestyle tonight, and it was fast.
It was very fast.
First of all, what was it like for you to watch that? Because this is one of your races. This is a race that's near and dear to your heart.
Yeah, this is an event that I have won in the past. I've qualified in this event. I've also just missed making this event. So you feel that heartbreak too. I would say this was one of the better sprint races we've seen out of the United States women in several years. Abby Weitzel with a very strong swim to start out our final, 53.2.
Wow.
And that's pretty close to the American record. I think she might be the 2nd fastest American of all time. Simone punching her ticket, actually both Simone and Abby punching their ticket for the first time. And for tomorrow night, I'm sorry, let's get back to this relay. Amanda Weir in 3rd.
Wow.
So my dear friend, my roommate from the 2004 Olympics, Amanda Weir, 30 years old, really happy to see her in there. Leah Neal punching her ticket, and Katie Ledecky just missing that. She would have been the first person to ever qualify in an event from the 100 up to the 800, thinking that tomorrow's going to go as we planned.
Yeah. Well, the thing with that whole final is every single person in that final is on the Olympic team. From what it looks like. As long as we take 6, every single person there, Kelsey as well as Katie Ledecky already qualified.
Yes.
So I'll be curious to see what that relay looks like when we go on to Rio. But fast across the board. And I mean, Katie Ledecky proves that there's nothing she can't really do. A 53 in 100 freestyle.
It's impressive.
And she swam an 800 this morning.
Yeah,
continues
it's
to
a warm down
impress.
for her.
I know, warm down. Okay, next we have the 200 breaststroke for women.
Women's 200 breaststroke final, 224.0, Lily King with her 2nd event. And then we saw kind of a similar race that we had with the men last night. Josh Pruneau came on really strong in the last 15 meters last night with a big tempo, and we saw that same thing out of Molly Hannes tonight to get that 2nd place finish. So a great race out of those ladies, and unfortunately Mika Lawrence out in 4th place. She was our qualifier from 2012, so it's tough. You know how it is being on the other side of that, and
I completely know.
Yeah,
you're exactly right. So we're moving on to the 200 backstroke for men.
200 backstroke for men.
Kind of unexpected.
Wait, yeah?
Yeah, I don't know. It was an interesting race from the beginning to end. I mean, obviously, I'm so excited for Ryan Murphy.
Yes.
He cleaned up the backstrokes.
He did. He did. Jacob Pebley getting in there, his teammate. And we saw Tyler Clary. He is the Olympic champion from this event 4 years ago, and he definitely fought for it. He pushed and he fought for it, but he came out in that 3rd place finish, unfortunately. But also very happy for those two guys. That's the thing. It's really difficult. You're happy for the people that qualify, but your heart also breaks for those that come in 3rd.
Exactly. And I thought that they had a really nice moment there in the pool because you saw the 2 boys who placed 1st and 2nd.
So much respect between the 3 of them.
So much respect. And I think that's something that's really unique to the U.S. is when you're in the ready room, it's people who you've grown up with and you compete with at a really high level, and everybody wants this so bad. And once it happens, you're excited and you celebrate, and then, there's somebody that's getting out of the water that didn't get the thing that they wanted. And so to see that compassion from the 2 who made the team was really, really cool to see.
Well, and if you think about how many people are entered in this meet, we have over 1,800 swimmers competing, and 52 of them will walk away and be Olympians after this meet. And that's a lot of disappointment. That's a lot of tears in there.
Exactly right. So for semifinals for the night, we had the 50 free for men.
Yes, 50 free for men, one of my personal favorite races. We saw the old guy, 35-year-old Anthony Irvin, out in front with a 21.5. I believe that's the 3rd fastest time in the world this year.
Wow.
And Anthony and Nathan, no strangers, going head-to-head together. They were stroke for stroke in this 50 in the same semifinal heat, with Anthony edging Nathan, which we don't see too often. But based on the speed that he showed in his 100 free earlier at this meet, it really is no surprise how well he's doing in his 50 right now.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that tomorrow night. I think it's going to be a fast one from top to bottom.
Yeah.
So the last one was 200 backstroke for women.
200 backstroke for women. Semifinal, we have Maya Dorado as our #1 seed going into. She's been on fire.
She has been on fire
and
this whole meet.
Yeah, and just watching her stroke, it's so great when you see such a beautiful swimmer really hit their taper.
Yep.
Her backstroke was very smooth. She was catching a ton of water, so no surprise that she was out at that 2:08 low. And then we have Missy in second. I think another strong swim for her, 2:08.6 with those long arms on that finish.
Yeah.
But then, team favorite, Elizabeth Beisel. We were just talking about her earlier. She's in there at fifth, swimming with a broken finger, so definitely a strong effort from hers. But, we talked about this earlier today. Beisel is tough. She is somebody that you don't want to go head-to-head with.
And I think she's fired up right now. I saw her shortly after and was asking her kind of about the finger and what happened because, in warm-up pool, we, slap hands with people all the time.
Yes.
All the time. And
it usually feels like your hand shatters, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
But hers actually did break.
Yeah, it did break, but she could feel that it was something a little bit different, so obviously they went to get it checked out, and they're keeping a close eye on it. But I think she's fired up. I think she wants this, and, she can rest tomorrow morning and then come back tomorrow night and put together a great swim.
Yeah, and I was talking to her coach, Chuck Batchelor, her club coach, and he said he spent the entire day with her when they went to the hospital and got her x-rays, and he said, this made her angry.
Yeah.
And angry Beisel is much scarier than sad Beisel.
Yeah.
She was angry and she wants it. She's ready to go for it, and this is her race, this 200 backstroke. She qualified for first Olympics as a teenager.
Yeah, just a teenager.
2008, yeah.
Yeah.
So she's been on the scene with this one for a long time.
Cool. Well, I cannot wait to see what they throw down in that tomorrow. Thanks, Kara.
No problem.
So the word is out about how fun our lane 9 set is. And so when we wrapped up last night, we found a lot of people wandering around, and we'll show you who we found. Your daughter made the team for the first time this week in the 100 butterfly. What did that mean to you to watch her accomplish something so big?
It was incredible. I mean, as a parent, you go through all the carpools and 6 a.m. warm-ups for meets on Saturdays, and you do all that, and then to see it pay off, and it's been a surreal week.
What's it like to see Townley achieve something like making the Olympic team here?
It's pretty amazing for us. He's our youngest, and we're very proud of him, and just amazed, that it came this quickly.
It's pretty unbelievable, remarkable, very nerve-wracking.
What's it like for you to watch Connor compete? Are you cool and collected? Are you the nervous one? Like, what's that like as a family vibe?
They're looking at me because I tell everybody I may go down during this race. It's really, it's not fun. It's not. It's like I just want my life back.
It was so fun to be able to catch up with them yesterday. We had a lot of people drop by, caught up with a ton of people. So we'll continue to see who can pull out of lane 9 to continue to show you some pieces. But right now, I am joined by somebody who's been around the pool deck for a time or two, but he's making his Olympic debut. Please welcome David Plummer. Hello.
Hello.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
It's so good to see you.
Yeah.
We've swam on some teams together, and you're somebody who, you've been on the scene in a huge way, and I think a lot of people are pulling for you. You've faced kind of some heartbreak in your career, continued to come back from it. How do you think that those setbacks prepared you for making the team this time around?
Honestly, I think it just kept me hungry. There was always something more to accomplish, and that was a big driving factor in training and making sure, sort of kept me honest through everything I went through.
Yeah, and that honesty and that hunger is really important as you're continuing to go through day after day. We were talking yesterday, you have 4 years. When you leave Olympic trials, you either go on to the Olympics or you have 4 more years to reset.
Right.
So we were talking just now about your boys. You have 2 boys at home. What has that family dynamic been like as, kind of a distraction and in a good way, kind of this wholeness at home to go back to no matter what happens in the pool?
It's been great. It's a pretty huge release to just know that your life's sort of set, you're in a good place. My wife has been hugely supportive of my career, and to be able to go home to those guys and just be like, they're going to be happy regardless. It makes everything a little bit easier for sure.
So let's take a look at you and Shields, are maybe some of the older first-timer Olympians, but you have a ton of experience. What does that bring to this team of, you know, a lot of rookies, but people who really know what it's like to compete at an international level?
You know, I think it helps, and we've gone through it. We're able to, you know, hopefully kind of put the team together. That's one of the things that Team USA does really well, and it's something we take a lot of pride in, is coming together as a team, going through this process as a team, and we hope to continue that as much as possible.
What are you looking forward to most about Rio?
I think the free stuff. I heard we get a lot of free stuff.
You get a lot of free stuff.
Yeah,
it's
that's
amazing.
Exciting. Yeah.
Yeah, I've already heard that some people are starting to go through uniforming. It's quite the extensive process. You get outfitted,
right
tons of bags. You probably have to ship some stuff home.
Yeah, sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about it.
Will you bring your family to Rio?
I think my wife will come. I think we're going to leave the kids at home.
You'll leave the kids at home? Okay, so you're staying here for a couple more days, and then you guys get to go home and train. Are you completely resetting now? What is your taper going to look like as you reset, I guess?
I think my coach broke my taper today.
What'd you do today?
He was really adamant that we just get through it and get back to work. So I lifted this morning, and we put about $5,000 in today, and so yeah, I'm feeling good, feeling a little beat up today, but I'm excited going forward.
How long will that continue for before you guys get to Rio? Because I know you have a long training camp before you kind of come back down again in the yardage.
I think we'll go at least like week and a half, 2 weeks of kind of not full on intensity, but cranking it back up, and then I think maybe 2.5 weeks we'll taper it back down going into Rio.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I'm so excited for you and happy to see what you put together.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks. So we took a lap around the pool yesterday, and today we have some eyes on Coach David Marsh. He gave us an inside look about his athletes, and we took a lap with him. So take a look.
The one swimmer that stops me in my tracks whenever she's swimming is Dana Vollmer. When I can watch her butterfly, just watch how she swims butterfly, the fluidity she carries through the water, the grace she has in her stroke, literally, I'll never miss a stroke of that. In fact, there's some videos of her online that I'm going to practice, and my daughter swims butterfly as kind of her best stroke, and I have her watch that. Just watch the beauty of this. And I think in about 3 strokes you can see how gorgeous our stroke can be, and Dana does the best job of it.
Okay, so that wasn't his mic'd up piece. That was actually him talking about Dana Vollmer, somebody that I have spent many years on the national team with. But I'm joined now by somebody that you might recognize. He's traded in a swimsuit for maybe a little bit different suit, and we don't have a rose for him tonight. But joining me, I have All-American swimmer Robbie Hayes. Thanks for coming on, Robbie.
Of course, Ariana.
You might recognize him from The Bachelorette, and Robbie and I actually got to train together in Florida.
We did back in 2012.
Yeah,
before
back
the
in
trials.
2012. Okay,
my last swim meet.
Was that your last swim meet?
It was my last one. It's actually the last laps I've swam.
Well, I was going to ask you if you took a dip in the pool today.
I did not. Someone tried to get me in a swimsuit, and I refused.
And you refused to put a swimsuit on?
I did.
So in 2012, did you know that trials was going to be your last meet?
I did. I graduated in 2011, and it was actually my parents who convinced me to keep going till 2012.
Really?
Yeah, they were like, let's hold off on the job search, and let's give 2012 a chance, since we didn't get a chance in 2008. And I gave it a chance, and I qualified in 5 events and swam 4.
Wow.
And that was my last meet.
So I know that you were wandering on the pool deck a little bit today, seeing a lot of familiar faces, and it's a world that you've been out of for 4 years. What does it mean to come back here and still know so many people and be able to fit right back in a big way?
It was crazy. You know, the pool deck is home.
Isn't it?
Yeah, and a lot of the guys I trained with at Bowls were younger than me, so a lot of them are here. You know, the Ryan
We're
Murphys.
the old timers.
The Ryan Murphys, the Santos, the Joseph Condorellis, all the kids that we trained with are all, you know, out there doing their things, making the teams. Caleb Dressel was out there. Yeah, so all the familiar faces, it's nice to see. It's fun to come back and be around this. It makes you miss it, you know?
It does.
You don't realize it until you're out there doing it.
So I know that you watched finals tonight. What's it like to watch swimmers get on the blocks? Because I know for me, I start shaking my arms out and my heart goes up a little bit.
It's intense. You know, I'm actually here with a friend who's not a swimmer, and so I enjoy explaining, like, you know, the flexibility things, why they slap each other's back and stuff like that. It hits home. It's fun. It's nice being back.
So I have to ask, I know that there's tons of things that I can't ask based on the show, but why go on The Bachelorette? Why was that something that you thought that you wanted to pursue?
It wasn't something I wanted to pursue necessarily. I had gotten home for Christmas break with my family, and I had just broken up with a long-term relationship. And I think I'm the oldest of 5, so my younger
Are you
siblings,
really?
yeah,
Oh, I didn't know that.
my younger siblings could kind of tell that I was a little bit upset about it. And my little sister took it upon herself to nominate me.
Oh,
And
your little sister nominated you?
Yes.
Okay, that's amazing. Because we were texting a couple weeks ago, and you were like, "Have you been watching the show?" And I was like,
Yeah.
"I travel like crazy. I'm sorry."
You got to catch up.
I do have to catch up.
That's good. DVR is a lifesaver.
All right.
But yeah, so she nominated me in about towards the mid to end of January. I got a call from an LA number, and I had no idea what was going on. I thought my friends were prank calling me. I
Yeah.
had no idea what was going on. And sure enough, I started going through the process. The application took a while, but they let me know a week before they flew me out that I had qualified, and they wanted me to be on the cast. And then we started filming a week later.
That's awesome. And so I've heard that kind of how you're being perceived on the show definitely has to do a lot with swimming. What does that mean for you to kind of bring that athleticism to this house? And I know that there's probably a lot that goes on within it. Like, are you proud of kind of, I guess, the world that you come from?
Oh, super proud. You know, it's I think I've demonstrated who I am on the show very well. And you know, they can cut and put it how they want, but I've demonstrated who I am, and me being the former competitive swimmer on the show, you know, I've gotten lots of compliments out here around the pool deck about me living up to the swimmer's dream, you know, being out there and, you know, looking good in the bathing suit when I'm jumping off the cliff. So,
Congratulations.
yeah, and knowing that she felt comfortable jumping into those waters with the former competitive swimmer made me feel comfortable too. So it was a good time. It was an experience that I wouldn't change for a lifetime.
Cool. Well, it was so nice to catch up with you and see you, and I did such a good job of not asking you the questions that I know that you
You
can't
did,
answer. I would
you
like to get
did.
a little bit of credit for that.
I got to
but
keep it under wraps.
It was so good to see you, Robbie.
You too.
Thanks for coming by and catching up.
Of course.
So I promised that I would show you a piece of David Marsh walking around the pool deck, so I'm going to show that to you now. Check it out.
We all agree you're best when their back's against the wall, so it's a good thing. Got it? Hey, congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, awesome.
Thank you. Not pretty, but
You know
got
what?
the job done, so I don't care.
So that's what this meet is. That's what it means. Get the
Got
job done. That's all we
That's
gotta
all
do.
you gotta do here.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Speaking of that, Tyler looked okay in that.
Yeah,
The kid's a fighter. Don't get me wrong. That kid's a fighter.
Nice job, Tyler. Thank you.
10.
what I liked was when you picked up your tempo, the you held, you kept the hold on the water. Sometimes if you got tempo, you start slipping a little bit. Coming out right out of your breakout, you were right in your.
I promised that I would show you that, and now I'm joined by Ricky Behrens. Ricky, I haven't seen you in a long time. We were able to catch up this morning, but you've been on some really historic relays for Team USA. What is it like to be back here, not as a swimmer, but watching?
It's been different, and
Has it?
sitting there in finals, I didn't know what to expect. I was watching at home for a little while, and I was like, I kind of want to be there. I wish I was in that race.
What was it like at home watching?
I had beer in hand, and it was good. I was,
Like that was
the
living the dream.
the nerves aren't there anymore,
Okay.
which is great. But, and for a little while, I was like, I want to be there. Then I saw how fast they're going.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm good. I'm good. I'm
Retirement
happy where
is
I am.
Great.
Exactly.
Okay, so now take us back to you're watching live tonight. Are you getting the jitters? You don't have a beer in your hand? Like, what's that like?
All my friends, all my buddies, teammates, Texas guys,
Yeah.
everybody, you just want everybody to do so well.
Mm-hmm.
And you got these guys that miss it, Willa Cohen last night in 200 breast, miss it by a tenth of a second. And you have Tyler Clary tonight, these close buddies and these iconic guys in swimming that miss it by this much.
Yeah.
And your heart goes out to them. And you know how hard you work for so long, 4 years for this one moment.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a total bummer. And you get nervous about those guys. You want them to do
Totally do.
well, but then you love seeing this new generation coming up.
Yeah, it's really cool to see, and we've really talked a lot about the new generation coming up and what that's going to look like. But they are all a very close-knit group. They've come up together, racing against each other, and I'm excited to see what those relays look like. So speaking of relays, you've been on some amazing ones. What's it like to be a member of a Team USA relay?
It doesn't matter who's on the relay, how they're ranked going in. We have a target on our back. 4x1,
Without a doubt.
4x2, 400 medley. Everybody wants you. And that's how they're going in. And, we go in, it doesn't matter if we go in at the 5th seed, we're the top seed going in, and the 100 freestyle was fast, really fast, and I'm so stoked for those guys. It's going to be exciting race. It was so awesome to see these young guys step up for that, because that's the big relay. Relay. The most important one's the 800 free relay.
Yeah.
But and you know what, those guys are set up to.
Biased a little bit.
Yeah, but it's so incredible, and I've been blessed to be able to be a part of that, and to be able to watch that and see them carry on everything. And for 800 free relay, I was able to catch on after 2004 when they started this whole trend, and they got some incredible guys that are a part of it, and it's going to be an exciting 2016.
So it really will be.
Yeah.
Your family has been incredibly close as you've gone on in your swimming career and whatnot. What has their support meant as you were achieving that?
Family means everything.
Yeah.
I mean, my mom taught me how to swim.
Yeah.
She was summer league, and before I was born, she was coaching. She's been there the whole time, and even when I was making the Olympic team, she's still coaching me.
Yep.
But they're the people, when you stand up on that podium, that Olympic podium, you look over to the side, your family's there. That's the first thing you look at. Your family's there crying.
Yeah.
They're your biggest supporters, and that's where you get nervous. The parents are the first things. They're your biggest fans. They're the most nervous, and I've been blessed to have an incredible family, loving them to death.
Yeah, you really do. And we've seen so much of that, parents pushing on to the side and, being able to hug and embrace, because they're the ones, they take this journey with us. They're the ones who are there. They're waking up early, making breakfast for swim practice and all of that. So we're so grateful for that support.
Absolutely.
It was so good to see you. Thanks for coming by the set. So speaking of family, we saw this race go down tonight. It's arguably the greatest rivalry in swimming history. While most greet him with a camera, this person greets him with a hug. So you can't, say a sentence without saying Ryan Lochte and Michael Phelps. It's a rivalry that has really been going on for a long time. What does that mean for you to see those two completely battle it out day after day? I mean, they have extraordinary races against each other.
I like it. I enjoy it.
Like
really. And Debbie and I are friends.
Yeah.
And actually, I bumped into her on the first day, and we just hugged each other. And, we comfort each other, and I love it. I love that, and it's only in the water, thank goodness. They're competitive in the water, and then out of the water, that's it. It ends.
And I think that's a great dynamic, to be competitive in the water, and they bring out the best races in each other. We were looking through some of the stats tonight, and the top 10 times in 200 IM history, 5 belong to Ryan and 5 belong to Michael. Top 10, so I mean, they completely split it down the middle.
How much fun is that, I
know.
And to know that it's your friend, and you're going after your friend, and he's going after his friend.
So that, of course, was last night. I've changed clothes since then. But it was amazing to see just the camaraderie between the parents. And we were kind of walking around and grabbing both veteran parents as well as newcomers. And you can see the veteran parents pull the newcomers and really put them under their wing and support them in a big way. And we've talked about this a lot. The USA Swimming family is really tight-knit, and they protect each other, and I cannot wait to see the team that we continue to send to Rio. So we had some Olympians, ones that are on our 2016 team on the deck tonight in lane 9, and I think we're going to have more as the days go on here as this meet wraps up. But that's all from us out of lane 9 tonight. But all week long, we invite you to join the conversation by tweeting at us using hashtag lane 9. Share your questions, who you're cheering on, and where you're watching from for us to share live on the show. For all the latest videos, news, and photos, visit us at usaswimming.org, and be sure to catch Caitlin Sanzano tomorrow morning on Deck Pass Live at 9 a.m. Central Time. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place out of lane 9. Good night from Omaha.